Students, welcome to our class. So in the last class we have completed a part of our grammar from our textbook, page number 53. Now we are continuing the rest of the grammar part. Today our topic is imaginary conversation between Swami and the headmaster. He given you a imaginary conversation. Now we should change it into the indirect speech. The example is given clearly here. Then he gave you one example for us to complete it. Before going to change the conversation, first of all, let us know what is called direct indirect speech. If you know a little bit, which you have already studied in your previous class about direct indirect, but let us see once again the rules and regulations, then we will directly go into the conversation. Okay, so we may report the words of the speaker in two ways. The first one, direct speech. Second, indirect speech. What is the difference between direct and indirect? We may quote the actual words of the speaker. So we use quotations when we are talking about a speech. It comes under as direct. Whereas indirect, we may report what he said without quoting his exact words. This method is called indirect speech or reported speech. So if you look at these examples, you will understand. Clinton said, I am very busy now. Now who is the speaker here? Clinton. See, the words, exact words spoken by the speaker is given in quotations. I am very busy now. So if you observe this sentence, it comes under direct. Changing to indirect, who is speaking? The speaker is not speaking the words. It was said by the second person. So how do he state? Clinton said that. I refers to Clinton. So he, present am is going to be changed into the past form. Was very busy, now changing to done. And how these were changed we'll be observing. Second example, he said, my mother is writing a letter. So, who is the speaker? He is the speaker that mother is writing. Indirect, how do we state? He said that my mother changes to his mother. Is present continuous given is writing, change into past continuous, was writing a letter. Now how to change? It will be noticed that in direct speech we use inverted commas to mark off the exact words of the speaker. In indirect speech we do not use the inverted commas. So it will be further noticed that in changing the above direct into indirect, some changes have been made. What are they? First one, we have to use the conjunction. What is the conjunction we are using? THAT, that, before the indirect statement. Second, the pronoun I is changed to he if the pronoun is changed in person, male he, whereas female she. The verb, if it is given in the present, it is going to be changed into the past. For example, am going to be changed into was, basing on the circumstances. The adverb now is changed to then in the previous example what we observed. Now rules for changing direct to indirect. First one, when the reporting or principal verb is in the past tense, all the present tense in the direct speech are changed into past tense. A simple present tense becomes simple past, means present V1 changes to V2. Whereas past tense changes to V2 changes to past perfect, had plus V3 form. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. Past tense, change to past perfect. So these are very important. If you go through examples, you will understand. He said, I am unwell. He said that is a conjunction we use to remove the quotes. He am changed to was. He was unwell. A present continuous becomes past continuous. He said, my mother is writing a letter. He said that his mother was writing a letter. A present perfect becomes a past perfect. He said, I have passed the examination. He said that he had passed the examination. So the only small thing which you keep in your mind is present tense changes into past, means simple present, simple past, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect. Okay. He said, as a rule in the simple past tense in the direct speech becomes the past perfect tense in indirect. His horse died in the night. Died is given in the past tense. So V1 changing to V2. V2 is going to be changed into had plus V3. He said that his horse had died in the night. So died changed to had plus V3 form. And note, shall of the future is changed into should. Means the modal verbs are going into the past form. Will, would, can, could, may, might. So it changes according to the situations. And the tenses will not change if the statement is still relevant or if it is a universal truth. Note this point. If the sentence is a fact or it's a proverb, the tense is not going to be changed. We can often choose whether to keep the original tense or change them. I know her address, said John. So you can write John said that he knows her address. Or if you want to change it into the past, he knew her address. In this indirect speech, both the past tense and the present tense make the sentence a correct one. The teacher said the earth goes round the sun. It's a fact, universal. So the teacher said that there is no change. The earth goes round the sun. She said German is easy to learn. So according to the language, it is so easy. She said that German is easy to learn, or if you want to change into past, was easy to learn. See that the proverbs or the universal facts are not going to be changed. The past tense is often used when it is uncertain if the statement is true or when we are reporting objectively. Okay. Now, third rule, if the reporting verb is in the present, the tense of the direct speech do not change. Like, he says, I am unwell. Now, says is the reporting verb which we use in the present. When the present reporting verbs are used, please do not change the tenses. He says that he is unwell means still it is not completed. At present, he was stating this statement. He says, my mother is writing a letter. He says that his mother is writing a letter. It's identification of the reporting verb. When we change the tenses, when the reporting verb is given in the past. He says, I have passed the exam. He says that he has passed the examination. He says his horse died in the night. He says that his horse died in the night. Because says is given. If it is given said, automatically it changes into had died. Next, the pronouns of the direct speech are changed where necessary so that the relations with the reporter and his hearer rather than with the original speaker are indicated. See that said is given followed with said that. If said to is given, change it into told. He said to me, I do not believe you. So said to changes into told. He said that he did not believe me is wrong. So what do we state? He told that he did not believe me. She said to him, I do not believe you. She told him that she did not believe him. So words expressing nearest in time or place are generally changed into words expressing distance. He said, I am glad to be here this evening. He said that he was glad to be there that evening. He said I was here yesterday. He said that he was there the day before. Okay, so basing on the time we are going to change. Now let us see the words which get changed when the direct speech is changed into indirect. Now becomes then, here, there, ago, before, thus, so, according to situation. Today becomes that day. Tomorrow, the next day, or the following day. Yesterday, the day before, or the previous day. Last night, the night before. This, that, these, those. Okay, please go remember this. Now, if the interrogative questions were given, how do we change? How the questions used in the direct speech are changed into indirect? In reporting questions, the indirect speech is introduced by verbs asked, enquired, etc. He said to me, "What are you doing?" See, what are you doing? It is an interrogative speech. So while changing this, we will make he asked me. We never write as said to or told. He asked me what I was doing. Immediately, interrogative changes into assertive. So what are you doing change into what I was doing, full stop. It's very important rule. Interrogative always changes into assertive statement. A stranger asked me, "Where do you live?" A stranger inquired where I lived. Or you can also state a stranger asked where I lived. See how we are going to change the interrogative to assertive. Subject, if you observe there, WH plus helping verb plus pronoun. It is interchange, WH plus pronoun plus helping verb plus followed. The policeman said to us, "Where are you going?" The policeman asked us where we were going. He said, "Will you listen to such a man?" He asked, yes or no type, will, if or whether they would listen to such a man. So if direct questions WH follows with WH or HOW questions, whereas if it is given with the yes or no type like do form, have form, then it should be changed into if or whether. Now the request or commands. Raja said to John, "Go away." See, go away verb plus object. There is no subject. Then it comes under as imperatives. Raja ordered John to go away. He said to Mary, "Please wait here till I return." So he requested Mary to wait there till he returned. "Call the first witness," said the judge. The judge commanded them to call the first witness. He shouted, "Let me go." He shouted to them to let him go. He said, "Be quiet and listen to my words." He urged them to be quiet and listen to his words. So it depends on the mood of the speakers. Basing on the mood, it changed into infinitive modes. Okay, children. Now coming to our textual part. Hope you can do it now. So first one, page number 53. Read the following imaginary conversation between Swami and the headmaster. See the conversation between the both. Headmaster, "Why didn't you come to school yesterday?" Swami, "Sir, my mother was suffering from fever." Headmaster, "I don't believe your words. You always say something or the other to escape from school." Swami, "I am speaking the truth, sir." Headmaster, "Well, I will come to your house tomorrow and talk to your parents." Now, while changing this conversation into indirect, the above conversation can be written like this. Clearly mention how he is changing. It should be written as a paragraph, not like a single line. The headmaster asked Swami why he hadn't come to school the day before. Because why didn't you come to school yesterday? Yesterday changes to the day before. And didn't you come? Did plus V1. Past tense changed to past perfect. So it had changed to why he hadn't come to school the day before. As per second statement, sir, my mother was suffering from fever. Swami replied respectfully. See the bold letter which is used, that his mother had been suffering from fever. Now continuation. Headmaster, I don't believe your words. It is changed to, the headmaster retorted that, because he was saying very seriously, I don't believe, that he did not believe his words. And when you are continuing the next statement, we should add. And added, what do we state? That he always said something or the other to escape from school. Then Swami replied respectfully that he was speaking the truth. Then the headmaster told him that he would go to his house the next day and talk to his parents. Now, as you can see, while converting the direct speech into indirect speech, the words in the bold are added to express the feelings, emotions, attitudes of the speaker and the sequence of the actions. So, go through once again regarding this conversation, then you will get a clarity. Next, read the following imaginary conversation between the Swami and his father. Now here's the conversation given. Now we should change the conversation into indirect. Now read it and try to change it into the indirect and check your answer at the end. I am giving you at the end, so you just go through it. Next, going with the noun clause. You have studied in the 8th class about the clauses, noun clause, adverbial clauses. Now, here is a noun clause. One student said that he had an attack of an headache. So, this sentence has two clauses. One is principal clause, other subordinate clause. Everywhere it is common. So, one student said is a principal clause. What is the subordinate? That he had an attack of a headache. Means the subordinate clause is the object of the verb said. It is a noun clause. What is called noun clause? It can also appear in the subject position, as can be seen in the coming sentence like, what you say is not clear to me. Here, if we replace the underlined part with it, what do we say? It is not clear to me. So, according to the sentence structure will be completed. It in the above sentence. So, what you say, then that will say, it is not clear to me. Sometimes the word that conjunction can be left out in spoken English. He left that punishment was not enough. Means he felt that punishment was not enough. That is an adjective which is used. Now read the following passage carefully and identify the noun clauses. Replace the underlined words that, so and it with suitable noun clauses. The headmaster entered the class furiously and said that he wanted to know the reason for the absence of some students in the class the day before. One student said that he had suffered from a severe headache. The headmaster said, I don't believe that. What does that mean here? You had suffered from a severe headache. So in the place of underline, what do we write? You had suffered from a severe headache. The second said that somebody stopped him from coming to school. The headmaster said, I don't think so. So here, so meaning somebody stopped you from coming to school. So wherever underlined, we should write the exact words. The third said that he too had suffered from a bad headache. On hearing that, the headmaster shouted in anger. The fourth said that he had suffered from a terrible toothache. The headmaster said, I don't believe it. What is it? You had suffered from a terrible headache. The fifth said, my grandmother died suddenly. The headmaster retorted that he would ascertain it. He said, I will come to your house tomorrow to know the fact. Now what did we do? Where they were underlined, the exact words has to be written. Okay. Now editing the passage. Read the following passage and edit. Edit is nothing but correcting. You have done in the material many times. Now let us see the corrections. Swami went home and says, went home. See, the sentence started with the past. Says means it should be changed to past action said. Change it there to said that the headmaster beats him severely. Beats, is it a correct usage? No. So, bet him severely. The parents asked that why the headmaster had beaten him. So, that is the wrong usage here. We will remove asked why the headmaster had beaten him. Swami said that the headmaster beats him yesterday. So, bet him when yesterday changes to the previous day or the day before. Swami's father said why the headmaster has beaten him without any cause. Now Swami's father said WHY is started. The said is going to be changed into asked why the headmaster had beaten him without any certain cause or without any cause. Swami replied to his father. So no change here, replied to. As we have used replied, no need. Replied his father. You can remove the to, that the headmaster beats, bet him every day. Swami's mother told to Swami. Told Swami. And of Swami's mother told Swami to attend the classes regularly. Okay. So writing skills. What do you think Swami might have thought after he had left his school? Write down the reflections, constructing a narrative passage that we can do later. Now look at the concluding part of the story. He restrained the tears that were threatening to rush out, jumped down and grasping his books, rushed out, muttering, I don't care for your dirty school. At the end of the story, you have seen this. Now imagine what happens to Swami after going away from school. Write a narrative which should include dialogue, sensory, perceptions, etc. You may include things such as the following. Now using these hints, you need to prepare a small story about him. Okay, do it in the notebook. Now study skills, directly you can do it here. Reasons for dropouts among children. It is given clearly the tabular from the data. Now he is asking you to write the answers for these questions. Try them and write the answers here itself. It is your task to complete as they were general. And write a report on dropouts using the information given. This you can stop it. No need to write. Just you complete this 1, 2, 3, 4 questions on the top. Now listening skills. As we know that at the end of every lesson we'll have a listening skills. Now listen to the 2 speeches and answer the questions that follow. So here are the questions given to you, page number 57 and 58. So you should read the listening skills. Where is the listening skills? Every time you are observing end of your textbook, which is on page number, observe the page 133, speech 1, speech 2. Read them carefully. Then you answer these questions. And followed with oral activity. Imagine that you are the school people's leader, SPL. Compare on the Republic Day celebration in your school. You may include the following in your speech. It is oral, no need to write so. Now we are going to our lesson. Reading B. The poem is given to us, not just a teacher but a friend. It's a wonderful poem. And this poem, the speaker of this poem is itself a student. Student is trying to explain his experience when he was in school life. As we all know, we love the school life very much. So nobody hates the school life. That is the first experience in their life, and few of the children make their teachers as friends. Though they complete their studies, never forget the teacher, because they created such an affection towards the teacher. Even today you will be remembering about your old teachers, means primary teachers like LKG or UKG, more affectionate. Why? Means there is some attraction between you and the teacher. Now here we are going to find not just a teacher but a friend. So how a teacher became a friend, we'll see in one of the students' life. I had no way to turn, had no way to go. This is just something I think you need to know. I don't know what made me trust you. I still remember the day when I told you what I have been through. I thought I should run away, go hide in a hole, but then you really brought out my true soul. See how wonderful the first stanza itself. The student is saying, I had no way to turn, no way to go. So I don't know how to turn up my life. This is just something I think you need to know. I want to tell you. I don't know what made me trust. So in every part of the life, trust is very important. What is called trust? Believe in others. I still remember the day he was saying, when I told you what I have been through, I should run away to go hide in some other places, in a hole or some places. But then you really brought out my true soul. So you have made me interested in studies with your lovable words or inspirational things. Till then, I was trying to hide in some places. As each day grew longer, our trust became stronger. Each time I wanted to cry, you stayed there right by my side. See the rhyming words, longer, stronger. Each day, as the day grew longer, but our trust, how it is becoming stronger day by day. Each time when I wanted to cry, you stayed there. You were there always beside me by explaining something. Then I moved to the next grade. The days passed, even the year completed, and I have gone for the next grade. Boy, was I afraid. As a student, I was totally afraid that our trust would slowly fade. Why? What is the meaning of fade? Something becoming paler or less bright. But I was wrong. We are still strong. So I'm going to miss you. As I'm going for next grade, I thought like that. But even though we are still strong, though I have changed the class, promoted for next class, still we are very much stronger. Even though sometimes you don't have time, you at least ask me if I am fine. Even though sometimes I'm not, I feel like I have just been shot. I smile and say, yes, I'm all right. Then I walk away and you are out of sight. I will just have to wait. I still have my fate. So sometimes you don't have time. So you at least ask me. So though you are very busy, but when you observe me, you will be asking, come on child, how are you? And I'm trying to say you, I'm fine, even though sometimes I'm not. So I have just been shot. I smile and say, yes, yes sir, I'm very happy. Though he was not happy, sometimes he want to say that. Walked away, you are out of sight. So I will just have to wait. I still have my fate. I am so glad that you were there when I was sad. And this is what makes you not just my ninth grade teacher, my friend. I feel very happy whenever I observe you. Even though when I was sad, you will be always beside me. So what makes me is not just as my teacher, ninth class teacher, but you are my friend. You became like my friend. See, how do we change this? See, actually, teachers changes our life. Most of the children will be saying, though today they are becoming a great people in their life. So who inspired you? If they ask, most of the people were saying teacher. So teacher changes the life. Being the right person at the right time may be enough to change a person's life forever. So human beings generally, if you observe other professions, they will change constantly. But a teacher never changes. A teacher always treats every student equally. And positive influence. Always a teacher wants to give positive influence to the child, never make them negative. So that experience make the people to succeed in their career. That the student is sad, the teacher goes and counsels them. What is the reason you are so sad? What happened? Next time you get good marks. Always a teacher gives a push to the child. So every student feels a teacher as a friend. It's a wonderful poem where this boy is explaining about his happiest experience in his life. So this is our poem, sir. So glossary, only 3 were given here. You read them and write it in the notes. Next followed with the questions. These were given in study material. We will see when we start the study material. Okay, in the next class we will go with the next lesson, that is homework. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.